My word, boys. Would you look at this? I mean, we got the SEC championship coming up this weekend. Texas versus Georgia. And if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter right now, of course, we have the Georgia legend, Aaron Murray. But now we have the man himself, Texas legend, Colt McCoy. The last time Texas was this relevant, this was the man under center. Colt, what's happening, man? Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, dude. Hey, Aaron, do you guys have like a hand signal, a logo, or something y'all do?
No, we just bark at each other. Obnoxiously, we just bark. So I hope as soon as you land in Atlanta on Saturday that just a bunch of wild-ass dogs start barking at you. TBob loves it. It's his favorite thing of all college football. When grown men bark at each other. Favorite thing in the world.
Look, the bar. I do think that sort of quirkiness is what is good about college football. It's one reason why I like the Yell Leaders and all of their culty weirdness.
Now that is quirkiness for sure.
I know. Trust me. Nothing's weirder than what I learned about. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I learned something newly weird about A&M every year. Last year, it was that thing where like the cadets grab, is it the freshmen? They grab some group. No, the students grab the cadets and they like dump them in a fountain. And then they swim around and they sing songs as everybody cheers in their white suits. And this year I learned that Reveille is like the highest ranking cadet or something. And that if you take care of Reveille and Reveille wants to sleep in the bed, that the human being has to sleep on the floor, which is just fantastic. I mean, I wish I could instill that sort of thing in any organization I was a part of, because that's how you win, or that's how you go 8-4.
Hey, that is a very different place, unique. But that stadium and those fans are pretty awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, again, the belief is insane. Like everybody to their heart, you cannot kill them. All they have done is suffer bitter disappointment through the decades, and nothing gets them down. They still bring it every single Saturday. But I know, Colt, how'd it feel, though, dude? Return to the rivalry, Texas taking it down, just suffocating defense, 50 carries on the ground. How'd it feel?
Yeah, anytime you can kind of just establish your dominance like that. I mean, really the last several weeks, Texas has found a way to run the football, and that's impressive to watch. You know, I think this team is getting better. I think you see that through like the trenches. Their defensive line, bowed up a couple of times on fourth, down the goal line, and their offensive line just. I mean, we lost Kelvin Banks, our All-American left tackle. Yeah. You really didn't skip a beat with the freshman that came in and played. I mean, there was no false starts, there was no pre-snap penalties. It was in a loud place like that in a rivalry game. It was pretty awesome to see. And I mean, I think that's a difference now and what they were early in the season is that, they feel very confident in, running the football, controlling the clock. And that was evident, last week.
Now that this rivalry is born again somewhat between Texas and Texas A&M, what feels better, beating Oklahoma or beating A&M?
Yeah, I mean, listen, OU's our rival. Yeah. That's in the Cotton Bowl. It's neutral site. It's split fans. There's some hatred, some bitterness there, and that's never gone away. I think that this rivalry has been renewed. And I think it was amplified even more for the implications that were on this game to go to the SEC championship. But as far as the state goes, I mean, yeah, this goes way back. It is fun. I mean, most families are divided across the state. Everybody tunes in. This game was on Thanksgiving. Every year that I grew up, you're tuning into that game and watching it. Around the Thanksgiving holidays, and so it's awesome. I mean, it really is. I mean, driving down the street where I live, it's like A&M flag, Texas flag, A&M flag, Texas flag. So in state, it's just it's awesome, and the fact that Texas has bragging rights now. We've had bragging rights for 13 years. We didn't play for a long time, and now we get it again. And to hold them to no points, on offense was pretty awesome.
Well, and that's why Texas is truly championship caliber this year, right? Is the defense. Like coming out of that Arkansas game, my take on the Arkansas game was like, some are going to look at this final score and be like, oh, what happened? But I'm like, no, I don't know, man. That's a game that Texas maybe would have struggled with in the past. They're winning with defense on the road, tough environment. And like, I know that maybe Quinn Ewers in the offense hasn't been one of these exorbitant offenses that we've seen in recent years of college football where like the numbers just blow you away. But if you're telling me that like that the hurdle that you actually have to get over as Texas is for the offense to have a good day, then that's an awesome place to be. Like I'm Sark and Quinn to be able to put together a game plan for a Saturday.
Yeah, no, it is. That definitely is the strength. I mean, I think they're, number one or number two in most categories: total defense, points allowed, and you watch them play. They fly around. They've got backup defensive ends that I think may have a 5 or 6 or 7 year career in the NFL. Like these guys they're solid. They're well coached. They're getting better and better, and their linebackers fly around. And I think sometimes the frustrating thing is like, man, like I look at our skill guys and I look at our offensive line, and it's like we have the ability to be explosive. I mean, if you really watch that A&M game, we probably left 2 or 3 touchdowns on the field. I mean, it could have easily been a 31-0 type game. And so, I think if they can figure that out, I just, I know I'm a homer. I'm a little bit biased, but when I've called a bunch of games in the Big Ten. I've kind of had my eye on college football all year. I think, they're definitely as talented as anybody else going into this college football playoff. And the thing that separates them and what will help them get to the championship is their defense.
Yeah. Well, I think they're the best. I think they're the most talented team in the country. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think that I agree with you. Like they dominated A&M last week. That was an absolute butt whooping. The score does not indicate how big of a gap that should have been in that football game. I was really impressed. I'm sure you've played multiple teams in the same season, probably in the NFL. Obviously, college just is going to be new this year. Hell, Georgia may play Texas 3 times, and they may play in a few weeks again in the playoffs. But when you go back to the first go, and Ewers struggled in the first half, gets benched, got hit a bunch, a lot of different blitzes. You had the corner cat blitz with the strip sack fumble. A lot of things went wrong. How do you as a quarterback not allow what happened that first go around to haunt you in this game? When you look across the field and see Georgia's defense, what they did, the skill, the speed, and say like, oh, damn, like I got to do something a little bit different. How do you not let that affect you?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. I mean, you and I both played quarterback. You get rattled pretty easily, right? Now you're going up against a team that kind of had your number at home. Georgia dominated that game. And that's a hard one because you look at Texas defense. We picked off Carson Beck 3 times. We turned the ball over too in our own territory and just let you get some easy ones. So I think I think going into this game, a couple of things. I think number one, lean on the run game a little bit more. They've been very good running the football the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think you'll see that. I wouldn't be surprised personally if you have a little bit more of an Arch Manning type package. You watched the game with Georgia Tech last week, and their quarterback had a very nice game on the ground. And so I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking ahead. They had a little red zone package for Arch. Quinn battled through an ankle, which was it was awesome to see him grind it out in a rivalry game. Like he showed a lot of guts and went out there and played pretty good. But I'm looking at what we did wrong, what we couldn't do. We couldn't move the ball at all. I mean, we had a little spurt there in the second half where we tried to get back in it, but you spot Georgia 2 touchdowns, likely you're not coming back. So I think it's simple. I think it's controlling the clock a little bit. I think it's the defense bowing up and playing well, and I think just different versions of running the football. And listen, Texas is always like 1 or 2 big posts over the top on quarters or a go ball down the sideline away from two extra touchdowns in the game. They've their receiving core and Gunnar Helm, like they're still very explosive. And if they figure that out early and get some play actions off the run, push the ball down the field, which is what Quinn does pretty well, I like their chances. But they're going to have to go back and study that tape, figure out what the deal was against Georgia. And obviously you're going against one of the best defensive minded coaches in the game. You're not going to see all the same looks. So you got to be prepared for it all. And so I think for me, a lot of times as a quarterback, one of the things that can settle you down is just staying ahead of the change and not putting me in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10. Keep me in that 3rd and medium range where there's still the threat of running the football on 3rd down. That could be pretty beneficial.
I mean, I love this message real quick from Texas Rocks in the chat. That you brought up.
Last 3 years, Texas can't handle the SEC. Every game is tough. This year, Texas SEC schedule's too easy. I mean, look, a bit of both. A bit of both is true. I would say this: Texas probably would not have done well in the SEC for about since Colt left. But
there's no doubt. There's no doubt. That's what I tell people all the time. Like, if Texas nailed it perfectly on when to go to the
timing.
SEC. Sark's had a couple years to, he came from the SEC. He knows what it takes. He knows that every battle is won in the trenches. And what's the strength of our team this year? It's the depth on O-line and D-line. I mean, that's what those guys just play consistently well week in and week out. And when they do that, you're going to have a chance no matter what league you're playing in. And previous teams over the last 10 or 12, 15 years, there just hasn't been a whole lot of – there's always been skill. There's always been, fast guys, speed guys, like much talent around. But the depth and the strength of your O-line, D-line, is getting better and better every year for Texas. And now making the move, that's been the difference. I mean, everybody's good. Look at all the 3 and 4 loss teams in the SEC. I'd likely put those teams up against a lot of the other teams in the country who have 10 wins.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Texas, from a timing standpoint, it certainly worked out in our favor.
Well, and before we get back to the game, one more kind of on the program or the state of the program for Texas. So yesterday's National Signing Day. Not content with a 1-loss season into the SEC championship, year 1 of the SEC, Texas gets the number 1 signing class. Now they could, and they're favorites to win the SEC championship on Saturday. They are, I would say as much of a national championship favorite as anybody else is going into our first 12-team playoff. I mean, what happens if Texas finishes this fight, Colt? Like, if they go SEC championship into national championship, is that the catalyst for one of these like dynastic sort of runs?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to get ahead of yourself, right? Especially as a Texas fan now and alum. But what I think is great for Texas football is that I think they have probably the best quarterback room in the country.
Yep.
Quinn has played for 3 years. He's an experienced guy. He's played a lot of football. I mean, he won the Big 12 championship last year. Now he's going to play for an SEC championship. He takes a lot of heat, right? And I think some of that is okay. But at the end of the day, like look at the big picture and sort of behind the scenes what Sark has done and the guys that he's gone out and gotten on signing day or in the portal. And now you got a guy like Arch Manning who has played some this year, and when he played, he was awesome. And you kind of know where that's going to go next year. And I think that there's a lot of momentum there as far as what Sark is building, and obviously their focus is now. How crazy is it that signing day was yesterday, and it's like a dead period, and Texas is focused on it? I mean, that's a
the schedule's nuts.
Kind of goes under the radar.
Yep.
Yeah, Aaron complains about it all the time.
I hate the schedule. I think the schedule's.
The portal's opening up. I mean, players are having to leave these teams as this is all going on.
Too much.
So I think Texas, their ability to like not get distracted by some of that. There's a lot to play for. I think Aaron, you kind of went through it a little bit earlier, but I would not be surprised at all if Texas has to play Georgia 3 times this year. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
No, it's shaping up like that, honestly. If you look at the rankings and where everyone could end up, whether Georgia or Texas wins this game. I want to go back to something you brought up with just the obviously Kirby and the defensive staff and how good they are. And I love Sark. TBob's finally on Sark after last year and then winning the Big 12. But do Texas fans, where do they view and where do you view the difference between Sark and Kirby? Is that going to hold them back, or do we believe that Sark is elevated himself enough to like that's a net neutral there, that we believe Sark is just as good and can win a game against Kirby Smart and going forward into the playoffs?
Yeah, listen, I don't think there's any doubt there's no doubt that Sark can find a way to win games. But you look at just Georgia's played in what? This is their 7th straight SEC championship game or something. This is
crazy.
This is Texas's first. Okay, so like we've got a lot to play for. If you're Texas, you know who you're going up against. You're going against the best of the best. And I personally don't think this Georgia team is the team that it was like 2, 3, 4 years ago. I think there's some weaknesses there, some things you can attack. The running back's not playing. I don't think their defense is exactly like what you've seen over the last several years. So like for sure, Texas can beat Georgia and kind of go over that hump. But I would put Sark and Kirby Smart up there as like, at least in the top, 3 or 4 head coaches across the country that, Sark's offensive mind and his brain and how he works and how he's built a team. And, I think they're well suited and well prepared for this. But again, you're going against Kirby Smart. They've been there, they've done that, they've seen it, they know what they're doing. And, you're not going to see the same looks over and over. Things that Kirby Smart did, he might, throw some of those wrinkles in there, but he's going to have a plan for what we do. And I think number one, it's like, hey, we're going to stop the run. Whatever we have to do, that's what Texas has been doing the last 3 or 4 or 5 weeks of the season. Like, that's their bread and butter right now. Like, we're going to make them not be able to run the football on us. All the good coaches do that. You play against these coaches in the league, Belichick, they always say, we're going to take away what they do best and then make them beat us a different way. And if you look at Texas in totality, they've controlled the clock, they've played good defense, and they've run the ball. But you can't deny that there's still a threat in the explosive pass plays, pushing the ball down the field. There's a give and take there. So it'll be an awesome chess match to watch.
What's been your opinion of, and I don't know how much you've been able to watch him, but what's been your opinion of Carson Beck entering the year, supposed to be the number 1 pick, and when it's on, it looks as good as anyone in the country, spreading the ball around, very productive, but there's been a big uptick in interceptions. What's kind of your view from a quarterback perspective of what's his year's been like?
Yeah, well, they struggle in protection bad. I mean, Aaron knows just as much as I do. If you're constantly getting hit and you're under duress, like, mistakes are going to happen. And I look at Carson Beck from last year to this year. It's the same player. Dude can spin it. He's a good football player. But when he's getting heated up and pressured, there's a different feel back there. And I think that's been the biggest difference when you look at just the 2 seasons. And when he has time and he can stand back there and stand big and tall and look over the pocket and find his guys, like, he's hard to beat. But when they get pressure on him, and I don't think their offensive line is what they were the last couple of years. Like, I think there's clearly some struggles there. I wouldn't say it's the man. I would just say it's part of, like, kind of where they are as an offense.
Last one for me, going back to the quarterback for Texas real quick. If it starts off, I think we all believe that Arch is going to have moments in this game. You allude to West third down, red zone. We saw it a week ago, and we've seen Georgia struggles against mobile quarterbacks. But if Quinn struggles in the first quarter, first half, do you fully commit to Arch in the game? Not just for the end of the half, not just for a couple series, but just say the ball is yours. You get 2 quarters, go out there and see what you can do. Do you fully commit? Do you do what you did last time and give Quinn a break? What should be done if he struggles again early versus Georgia?
Well, I think we should go take the first game out, right? We all know that Georgia smacked us and Quinn didn't have his best day. They were off. But I think you look at last week, I think there was some uncertainty with Quinn's ankle. He was a little bit hobbled up during the week, didn't know of how he was going to, if he was going to be after his first hit, what was going to happen. And so I think they had I'm guessing, but I think they had a pretty decent little package for Arch. Obviously Arch can step in and run the show.
Yeah.
But I think Quinn is coming off of that performance. He's going to be a little bit healthier. And listen, like, this is Quinn's football team. Like, he's done enough to put this team in position to go into the SEC championship. I don't think he has a short leash or anything like that. I mean, they're gonna ride with him. And now if he shows signs of not being healthy and kind of hobbling around and gets hit early and doesn't look right, maybe there's a situation where Arch comes in and relieves him a little bit. But that's the only thing that I would see for Sark to make a change like that.
Colt, what are you up to now, man? After, I know it seems like you're doing a million things, but after in college you started, I'll never forget it, I think you started 53 games in college. Is that correct?
That's
like
right.
Before COVID decided that everybody could just play forever. By the way, guys, Alan Bowman got an 8th year today. He's coming back to Oklahoma State again next year.
Just go away. Go away.
He was in Trevor Lawrence's signing class.
That's unbelievable.
Colt Collins, 53 starts back when, before he just had unlimited years. 14 years in the NFL?
Yep.
So now transitioning out, what's been going on?
Yeah, no, man, listen, these quarterbacks, I mean, look at Dylan Gabriel, Bo
Yep.
Nix, these guys played a lot of games. Aaron played a lot of games. They shouldn't be breaking all of Aaron's records.
I know.
They should play
They
the
get
minimum
5-6 years.
They get
5 or 6 years to break 4-year record. It's crazy.
I agree.
That's not okay, man. I don't understand that. But yeah, man, all is good. I tore my elbow up last year and just couldn't throw the ball the same. And it's one of those deals. It's hard pill to swallow at the end of your career. And,
yeah.
But at the same time, man, I'm very grateful. Man, I count my blessings every day, and I got to work for NBC and call some games in college football. That was fun. I always wanted to do something like that. I enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm just spending some time with my family and kind of just looking forward to a lot of fun stuff in the future, and kind of planning that out, but don't have my finger on anything really to say this is what I'm doing. I'm coaching my kids, spring baseball and girls volleyball and basketball right now, and having a great time, and just moved back to Texas, and as a fan watching Texas have the year that they're having, that's been pretty fun. So all is good, man.
Are you going to keep calling games?
Say it again. Are
you going to keep calling games?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It was great. I had a great time.
Hell yeah.
You're flexing a different muscle doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to learn. There's strategy. There's, as a quarterback, you come off the sidelines. You get, you're getting 8 or 9 possessions a game. You're looking at the defense and what do we got to, what looks are we seeing? You don't watch the defense play. You don't watch special teams. Now you're in the booth and you're talking. You got to talk both sides of the ball. You got to talk, big picture things and what the defense should, all that. So it's been a ton of fun. Just kind of getting to have the viewer watch the game through my eyes and what I'm seeing. And it was cool for sure.
Can't let you go. Score prediction for this weekend. You'll be in Atlanta in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I hope the dog fans treat you nicely, as they should.
Are they letting Bevo and is it Uga?
Yeah.
No. Does Bevo travel?
Dude,
Does he travel?
I hope.
Bevo travels.
Oh shit! Where the hell they put him? They drive him?
I don't know.
No, you never seen big horse trailer, a big cow trailer, shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Long drive.
I hope Bevo finishes the job this time and takes down that inbred sack of shit.
Yeah, I would have Uga on the opposite side for sure.
Yes.
We don't need to see a dog die on at the SEC championship game.
You want to hear something crazy? So Scott Dice, one of our good fans of the show, you're from Texas, Colt, so you'll probably appreciate this. Aaron, I don't know, Aaron, do you like tamales? Do you ever eat tamales?
No.
Colt, do you like tamales?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, they're the fucking best, right?
Yeah.
My family's from North Louisiana. My mom's side is, and they're big. It's a big tamale place too. Scott Dice said this morning for breakfast, he ate 24 spicy pork tamales. 2 dozen spicy pork tamales in one fucking say. What?
That's unbelievable. Hey, I love my tamales, but I mean, about 6 is my cutoff.
That's what I'm saying. I eat 6, and I'm already about to the stomach's doing some fucked up shit. 24. I think my bathroom would just like the Titan submersible. It would just cease to exist.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Scott's in the chat right now. Shout out Scott. All right, Cole, give us a score, and then we'll let you go.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty high on Texas last time they played Georgia. I just looked at kind of the state of both programs, and I was not shocked, but just kind of surprised that the way we played the first time and the way that Georgia could overcome 3 picks and still score 30 points. You just don't see that very often, right? And so, I mean, I think this game could go a couple different ways, but for me, who knows? I think Texas is going to control the clock. I think they're going to play good defense. I think this is a game that Texas wins 23-19, 27-23, something like that. I think it will probably stay close just because these are both very good programs. But at the end of the day, I kind of feel Texas has enough juice to score points, and our defense, I think they're giving up 11 or 12 points a game. And I don't think that Georgia's just this offensive juggernaut. But they're obviously well coached, well disciplined. They've been here before. This their 7th straight championship game. So, I see it being a tight one with, Texas kind of figuring out a way to win in like a 24-20 type game.
There you go. Colt McCoy, Texas legend, football legend.
I need to hear Aaron's take.
Aaron, give us your prediction.
I got 21-20 Georgia. I'm with you. I think it's gonna be super tight, like down to the wire tight. So I woke up Sunday thinking Texas was gonna win. I picked Texas to win the first go round. I am 0-4 when I pick against Georgia. So when I made this pick that Georgia was going to win, Georgia fans they're pissed at me right now. They're mad that I picked Georgia because they know that I'm 0-4 when I pick against them, and then I picked Texas in the first go round. So they're all hoping that I would pick Texas
again. So
so then they play again. Then maybe we'll pick Texas in that one. So we'll see.
I mean, I'm with you, Cole. I thought Texas was going to win the first. I evaluated the same here. Except that I think the Texans kind of found themselves even more. Even though you've given me something to think about, I hadn't thought about Kirby Smart just all out being like, look, we're going to stop Wisner, we're going to stop the run, and then we'll figure everything else out. That will even the scales a bit more. You're the man, Colt. Thank you so much, Colt.
All right. Well, if they play again, we'll have to jump on because that means that game's gonna. I mean, this one matters, right? Yes. It matters to Texas. First year in the SEC, that'd be awesome, but. If they play again, it's going to be for all the marbles, likely.
Oh, yeah, probably.
You're the man, Colt McCoy, legend.
All right, brother. See you guys.
Good luck in the stand. What a guy, dude. What a guy. Love Colt McCoy. I wonder.
The first time we brought him on, he was golfing. Second time we got him on, deer hunting. I mean, just living the. I need about 10 more years in the NFL. I could be doing the same thing. 10 more years.
I was going to say, it's like, he's like. Gladiator, right? You put your body on the line for 14 years and you finally get to retire to those Elysian fields and enjoy life a little bit.
I wonder how much he made. Because you remember Chase? Chase made a ton, and Chase played far less snaps than he did.
Chase played
far less snaps than Colt.
Somebody texted about it the other day randomly in our radio group text. Chase made like
50 mil playing.
No. He made about 50,000 per pass attempt or something like that. Maybe even more. Unbelievable. All right. Okay. We're going to do a really ADD 30 minutes to wrap up this hour. I've got a lot of tiny little, but a
lot of tamales,
bro, 24 spicy pork tamales. They're like, probably kind of like yay big, like a hand span, I would say, or like 6 inches, 7 inches, but they're wrapped up and they're in
size. 6 inches, 7 inches, pretty good.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Great
maybe a little thinner, a little thinner than what you're thinking about potentially. But they I
thought you were about to pull a picture of a tamale.
No. I mean, I could, but no, they're wrapped in like corn husks, and it's like a corn meal, like breading on the outside, and they're stuffed with meat. They're very greasy, very incredible. They're great with like salsa on top, green, red, whatever. Just throw some hot sauce on them. They're great plain. Like there's this place, Bub D's Tamales, up in Manny, Louisiana. Mom's from super small place. This family's been making tamales like 100 years or something. I love tamales, grew up eating them. And like when I've had the lake over the summer, I've been known to eat like a dozen throughout a day. Jeez. But like when I tell you that will fuck my stomach up, like it's not pretty. It's not pretty. And they're a little greasy. My man Scott's taken down 2 dozen spicy porks, even more extreme. All right, guys, so check it out. Can y'all read this? Aaron, can you read this? Is this
it looks good.
Okay, good. Signing day is in the books. This is the infamous Snaps Part 3 Google Doc here. But here it is. I guess so. Technically, people are saying, "Oh, you still got tomorrow and the next day, and more people be added." So we'll see. Maybe there's some movement. But as it stands today, with the majority of the signees in Texas,
what is this on? What is this on?
This is the On3 industry rankings. Okay. So this is On3's. They take all of the recruiting rankings and they combine them in this what is spit out. Yeah. Now, I'm sure their equation's a bit proprietary. Like, I don't know if they're putting their thumb on the scale for like we like 247 a bit more in ESPN, or if it's just raw, I don't know. But this is industry rankings. It's not anybody's singular rankings. Texas coming in with the number 1 class of the 24 signing class for 25. Alabama, number 2. Now, of note, Texas with 24 commits, Alabama with 22. So you would think if they signed up to 25, they could have the ability to jump. Alabama with 4 5-stars, Texas with 3. Oregon, number 3 in the country with just 21 players. To give you an idea of how high the quality is there, 4 5-stars, 15 4-stars for Oregon. And then there's Georgia at number 4 in the country, 28 commits, 24 stars, 4 5-stars. What a ridiculous haul that is of just solid football.
How the hell are they not ahead of Oregon?
I don't know. There's weird stuff. Look at Auburn and LSU, right? LSU has 3 5-stars, Auburn has 1. LSU has 16 4-stars, Auburn has 14. LSU has 4 3-stars, Auburn has 10, and Auburn's ahead. So I don't know exactly how it works. But so Georgia 5, Georgia 4, Ohio State 5, Michigan 6, Auburn 7, LSU 8, A&M 9, Tennessee coming in at number 10.
Florida at 11 is pretty impressive for how bad they were about a month ago in recruiting.
Yeah. Oh, give me the top 10 takes first, and we'll go 11 through 12, because I do think there's a lot of interesting 11 through 12.
Well, there's no surprise Texas is 1. I mean, it's so funny. We 2 years ago, we talked about Georgia and how they're situated. Georgia and this state with the talent, yada, 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 no in-state competition. They're going to dominate college football. Now it feels like we've changed our tune a little bit. And it's like, okay, well, Texas is probably the best situated to really dominate college football in this new era with elite talent in Texas.
Yeah.
With the money in Texas, the resources. I love Athens, Georgia. Austin, Texas is pretty damn badass too. So, you can recruit to the West Coast a little bit easier too, being right there in Texas. So you can easily, I would say, I don't know who from their class is from like California, but Texas is no surprise. The fact that they're doing well, they have a hot coach, they have a sexy offense, and they're playing great defense is going to be very attractive to a lot of highly ranked kids.
Well, and it's as if we need another data point that money rules the world. Something that actually Brian Kelly was very open with yesterday in his press conferences. But as if we needed more data on that. But like, what does the top 10 have in common? It's all SEC and Big Ten.
Yep. Who
has the most money to spend, who has the most money coming in from TV it's all the SEC and the Big Ten. So as you get like ultimately, even though I think there's some very interesting points being made by representatives of the other conferences and how kind of broken we are with how much we evaluate the SEC, ultimately, this is why those teams get favored.
I didn't even think about that when you brought that up, that there's no ACC there's no Florida State, there's no Miami, there's no Clemson.
No.
I mean, it is truly becoming a 2-conference college football.
Which is interesting because, we'll get there. So then let's go 11 through 12 here. Anything else to add here? I mean, here's what I think too.
Oregon at 3 is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, or again, the Darling Ducks just continue to fulfill all.
Auburn at 7, it just puts more pressure on you. Like I know these are just freshmen next year, but you gotta win next year. You can't go a third straight season.
In the transfer portal era, there's no excuse.
No excuse.
There's no excuse anymore.
No excuse.
Michigan at 6, I mean, again, the Michigan brand dead for 99% of the season has rocketed back up now. Jolene, who hasn't even named Jolene, her name's, we'll do a deep dive on that maybe next week. The Wall Street Journal had a fascinating article on the Larry Ellison stuff and his secret wife. I think it's Karen Zoo, I can't remember. Whatever. Michigan at 6. Michigan continues to just be a fast riser here at the end of the year, getting Underwood, recruiting shoots up, beating Ohio State. Wow.
You know what's funny too? How many SEC teams in the top 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Florida is the number 11th team in the country, but they're the number 8th team in the SEC.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. My final thought on the top 10 is simply this. And I know I say it all the time. Recruiting is just about keeping up with the Joneses. And if you're in the top 10, you're good to go. In my opinion, it is simply about staying in the same ballpark. When you start to drop out, that's where you can maybe start to get in trouble over multiple years. So then you got Florida at 11, which again, credit to Florida. That's a big win there. I agree. I mean, the Florida brand they flipped a lot. You know what's funny? It turns out if you don't pay $30 million to fire your coach, you have money to spend.
Hey.
And so they just went and flipped a bunch of recruits. They just went and paid a bunch of kids, said, hey, come down to Florida. So they're number 11 in the country. Notre Dame, 12. That's pretty good for Notre Dame there.
I feel like 15 for Ole Miss is pretty good for Lane Kiffin.
That is very good for what Ole Miss normally does.
Yes. For them to be doing that. Maybe I need to stop thinking Lane wants out and start thinking that Lane is very content. And maybe Lane's trying to now build like, hey, I really do like it. Maybe I'm going to start building this thing in a way that's more sustainable than trying to go to the portal. I'm not saying like Lane's going to hit the portal. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But Lane has a very talented young quarterback that he's going to have for the next couple of years. Can he build from within is something that he hasn't necessarily stressed the past few. So this is a sign that maybe he does want to stay at Ole Miss. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's one thing you cannot deny, and that is that Lane has made the Ole Miss brand very cool.
Yes.
Like he has brought a brand that was not anything really, quite frankly. And he's made it cool, and he's won over an extended period of time. And when you do that, you now like if you're a high school kid committing to Ole Miss, think about the last 4 years of Ole Miss football, Aaron. 3 of the 4 years, playoff relevant. I mean, would have made the playoffs if this system existed. 2 of them, like really. So yeah, they've seen them be a consistent winner. Miami at 13 is interesting because
Mario's a great recruiter.
Exactly, I thought they'd be higher. They were much higher last year.
I think it's
they had a very good year this year.
I think you're seeing where recruits want to go.
They're going to hit the portal hard.
Recruits want to go to the SEC or Big Ten. I think this is the first evidence of that. A great recruiter in Mario who dominated recruiting when he was at Oregon, who's at a nice brand that had a really good season, yet they still can't get in the top 10.
Where is Clemson? That's actually really 21. Yikes. See, now, like that is what I consider not keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Clemson only with 15 commits, 6 4 stars.
No 5. When's the last time we saw Clemson with no 5 stars?
Yeah. USC coming in at 14. How about this? One of the USC's 5 stars is Jakeem Stewart, the D lineman out of New Orleans. Aaron, they're paying him $2 million a year. LSU got their offer up to 1.25. Couldn't keep up. $2 million D lineman. How about this? He only played 1 year of high school football. He transferred his freshman year. He couldn't play. He played his sophomore year. Yeah, he had like 30 sacks. He had like 30 sacks, 40 tipples. Then he transfers again to reclassify because he wants to get in on the gold rush. Since these numbers are probably going to be higher. Well, we'll see what happens. But so he transfers again to reclassify, and so he doesn't get to play. But he's been dominating like all the summer camp circuits throughout. So it's not like he's been like hiding. But yeah, 1 year of high school football and $2 million a year. And look, to be clear, his nickname is Thanos. I think he's going to be incredible. But that's a good get for USC there. Penn State at 16. It's probably a little low for where Penn State was. Yeah. Oklahoma at 17. This is bad. This has never been Oklahoma.
No.
If you go look at Oklahoma recruiting rankings, then you may say, oh, well, there's too many good teams. Well, no, it's like we did a thing where we looked over the last 5 years at A&M, Texas, and Oklahoma rankings because they're all recruiting the same people, right? Is there enough to go around? And what we found, there is. Pretty much all 3 schools were consistently top 10. But now if you're Oklahoma, you've had 2 of 3 really bad losing seasons under your head coach. He ran Dillingham.
Last 2 years, they've been 6-9. 6-9 2 years ago, 9 last year.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly, right? Now all the way down to 17. Also, you ran Dillon Gabriel out of town for Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold just hit the portal. It does not feel great for the Sooners. Staying
on this 11 through 20, I didn't realize until I went back right now and looked at last year's rankings. Florida was number 10 last year. So like,
yeah, remember? No, they had like the number 3 class the entire time, and then it fell apart, but they held on to Lagway.
yeah. So
I didn't realize they finished 10. I thought they finished like 15 or something.
According to On3, they still finished at number 10.
Okay. Mizzou. So this is what's funny about how expectations set how happy you are. Like Oklahoma at 17, bad. Mizzou at 18, South Carolina 19. I say pretty good.
Hell yeah.
I think that speaks to these teams, especially Mizzou. Only 18 commits to be a number 18. That's pretty high quality players there. And Shane Beamer not wasting a good year here. Nebraska coming in at 20. You know,
Georgia Tech at 23.
That's actually why I cut off at Georgia Tech, because I'm really impressed with that. I'm also pretty impressed with Lebby. This is a nice first class here, getting Mississippi State up to 22. But yeah, Brent Key, man. Brent Key's got it going on right now.
They are 2. God, but they're still 13th in the SEC. That's wild.
Yeah. Oh, they're 13th.
They're 13th. The only teams that have recruited worse than them on this are Kentucky, Arkansas, Vanderbilt.
Mark Poops, dude. Jeez.
Oh, we're going to talk about just falling. We don't even know where they are right now, but I'm just looking at the SEC in general. I mean, even you talk about South Carolina being great. I mean, that's a great class.
I guess not actually.
They're 12th.
Yeah,
12th
maybe
in the
not.
SEC.
Maybe not. You're right.
I mean, it's just everyone in the SEC is going to be top 30, 40, you know, or majority of them. So like it sounds great, but when you're still 12th within your own conference, it's like, yeah.
All right, so there it is. Little Cruton talk. Oh, well, actually, let me go ahead and share this again real quick because look at it, baby. Alan Bowman.
What are we doing?
They fucking
what is
leaving,
this?
dude.
This is
Oklahoma State quarterback wins his appeal. 8th year of eligibility, expected to stay with the Cowboys. What I love about this is they're like Oklahoma State fans are probably so desperately wanting change. And they're saying, fuck your change. Did we just go 0-9 in the Big 12, losing 9 games in a row? Yeah, but guess what? We're running this shit back. And it makes sense. You know why, Aaron?
Why?
There's literally nowhere to go but up. I mean, you can't do worse. You can't. You cannot.
Game. They won it. You can lose every game.
Sure, they did beat Arkansas.
I mean, come on. I'm waiting for a Pavia at Vanderbilt for his 2 years to be approved now. You know, just you sue, you win, you appeal, you win, and you can just keep playing college football the rest of your life. I mean, for him, good for you, dude. Like, I don't know how much he's getting paid, but he's going to get paid more than what he would have as a normal job next year. So he will be how old? 26?
I'm not sure. What I do know again is that
he was 26.
He was in Trevor Lawrence's signing class.
Yeah, he'll be 26 years old.
Fucking crazy. Okay, hold on. Aaron, did we talk about the Kenny Dillingham bonus here?
Oh, the he gave it away? No.
Yeah, I know we did.
No.
Okay, because I know we talked about it on the on my radio show.
Stuff,
yeah, let me find it here. I'm sure it's just a little Twitter search away. Here it is. So Kenny Dillingham, Arizona State head coach.
He looks like he's 25 years old.
He looks so young. And hey now.
Now. Is that a shocker?
Yeah, that's what they do. The Forks. Hey now. You know? I mean, look, he looks very young. His wife looks very young and hot. They got to look. I mean, look at this, just all American family right here.
This is all American.
She
go to ASU?
Probably no. Probably. I mean, he went to ASU. Yeah, probably.
Oh, then yeah, probably.
So this comes from somebody that covers the team, Chris Carpin. He's the 247 guy for Arizona State. He says, sources, amazing 100% true Thanksgiving story about Kenny Dillingham. Saturday, Dillingham earns $200,000 bonus for 9 wins. Monday, Dillingham tells 20 off-the-field ASU staffers they all get 5 to 10K bonuses. What Dillingham didn't tell them or me, this is a reporter saying that, is that he gave them his bonus.
Awesome.
And so he did not tell anybody this. It's just got out, as stories do. This is fucking awesome, dude. You know, like this is how you make people a fan of you from the outside looking in. And also it's one of those things where it's like, I think it's very easy for us to sit here and be like, well, yeah, if I made millions of dollars too, like, why wouldn't you do something like that? But it's like, We see coaches that make way more, that get way bigger bonuses, and they just fucking hoard it like Smog the Dragon, right? They just add it to the gold pile, never to be touched. Just go sit in a bank, sit in an investment like hedge fund, and just accrue more.
Keep buying Bitcoin. Just keep buying it.
Here's
That's
Dillingham.
2 Bitcoin right there.
Should have bought, what I told you to.
Here is TBob gave me one thing to buy, and I was like, you know what? I'll give it some time. I'll do some research, and then over 2 days it jumped 100%.
I mean, to be fair, why would you ever trust anything and say, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing? But whatever. This is cool. Again, because I guess, of course, cool. Just don't take this for granted, right?
Yes.
Because so many people could do this and do not. And he did it. People don't give away $200,000.
No.
And you know what it is? It's probably partially his youth, because he was like one of those staffers not that long ago, and he knows what they're getting by on. And are you kidding me? I got goosebumps. It's Christmas time. You're a staffer, not making much at all. You get 5 to 10K. All of a sudden, you give your own family like the best Christmas they've ever had. Let's go, Kenny. I'm cheering for you on Saturday because of this story.
I am too. I think Iowa State wins, but I'm cheering for ASU. No doubt about that.
The pictures before he told his wife he's giving away 200,000. Man, how young are they? Am I old?
Do we know? Why are you looking up?
Like
How old is he? He looks like he's 28. My goodness.
35. Oh, not younger than you, Aaron. Younger than me. Hate when a way more successful person's younger than you. I mean, obviously, I've been, kind of just stuck at my job for like ever now. So it's happening more and more as I'm just getting older and older. But fuck me, dude. Ooh.
Good for him.
Scott Dice, you're the craziest motherfucker in the world. I lost my virginity visiting my cousin at ASU when I was in 9th grade. What? Chris Tran, our former partner in crime, producer in crime, when Snaps coin dropping. That's true. Look, you had Taylor Mathis, the walking bets girl, who just did a meme coin and got shit all over. You got Hawk Tua, who launched a meme coin. A bunch of people lost the money. Like,
are you talking or are you frozen? I think he froze. Is he done talking? We will not be launching a Snaps coin probably any time soon, unfortunately. Let me remove TBob real quick and see if we can get him back in here. Oh, goodness. All right, let's keep going on with the stuff. Speaking of UCF and the Golden Knights, Lincoln Riley. Let me take Chris Chan off here. Lincoln Riley, coach for USC, Southern Cal, out there on the West Coast, obviously getting paid a lot of money right now. And we told you guys on the show, $98 million buyout for USC if they wanted to move on from their coach. Obviously, USC lost their head coach. He is moving on to be the OC of Florida State. But Lincoln Riley will not be going to Orlando. Some names that are floating around: Scott Frost, the chosen child who had a tremendous career there at UCF, floating discussed to be going back to there, which I think would be a great one. Jamie Chadwell, great coach, great offense. And then John Summerall as well, opportunities to be the UCF coach. I like Scott Frost. I don't know what Scott Frost is doing. I'm sure he's probably enjoying being off, getting paid still from Nebraska, but what he did there at UCF, the wins, the excitement. I actually had a couple of their games back when I was with CBS down there in Orlando, and love being around him. Still shocked it didn't work out at Nebraska with just what he did there as a player. But hey, man, he had success there. Why not go back? I'm sure he enjoyed the great sunny weather, and fans love him and would welcome him back with open arms. All right, this is the big one I want to get to. Jackson Arnold in the transfer portal. TBob talked about it a little bit earlier. Oklahoma quarterback, they got rid of their previous quarterback. He goes on to Oregon to make sure Jackson Arnold did not leave himself. A year later, Jackson Arnold hits the transfer portal himself, and rumors swirling everywhere. I got a bunch of UGA fans hitting me up that Jackson Arnold in Georgia would be the absolute perfect fit. Places like Auburn, Mississippi State are thought to be early teams on the lookout for him. Hey, T-Bob's back. A lot of we're on Jackson Arnold. I got a lot of dogs right now hitting me up saying they want Jackson Arnold in Athens next year. Enamored with the mobility.
Jackson Arnold in Athens.
Jackson Arnold in Athens.
Let me re-bring up my notes here and see what I had written down. UGA, Auburn, and Mississippi State are thought to be the teams to watch early on.
I think reuniting with Levy would be great. I know Levy really likes him. From what
I
talked to him
was going to say, you literally talked to Levy.
I talked to him about it, and he really likes him. But Nick, he also does like the quarterbacks he has right now. I mean, he feels like he has two quarterbacks, in that he's gonna have a quarterback competition. Yeah, and Michael Van Buren, and he likes Chapin a lot. Like he was like Chapin. We feel like things were about to really get going offensively, then Chapin gets injured. So he has two right now. I don't know if you want to add a third in there as well. So unless he
it depends if he really believes in them.
Yeah, if he really believes in him. But
he
made it seem like he really believes in those two as well.
So Auburn, certainly Auburn. I mean, as we're going to see with the other names we're about to mention,
Auburn should get two quarterbacks.
Oh, all I was going to say on the meme coin front was that, some people are saying like, oh my God, this is, these meme coins are so wrong. I just think it's proof that there's a bunch of dumb motherfuckers out there that will still get scammed by pump and dump crypto schemes. So let's just go full crypto and let's fucking scam some people.
Okay.
Let's pump and then dump. Snaps coin coming at you.
Come on.
Miller Moss in the portal. Kind of a bummer here. Always wanted to be a Trojan, got a shot. It didn't heartbreak. Here it is. But he's going to be highly sought out.
Though.
I know. Apparently, your school, Aaron, Louisville.
I think Louisville would be a great spot for him.
Big on Miller Moss. Shucks leaving. Louisville's already one of the most aggressive portal teams. They're going after him hard. To the point where on 3, that was the only team they mentioned.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great spot for him. Great. They got two really talented young running backs. They'll get some skill on the outside. They got a nice receiver coming back next year. I think that'd be a good spot for him to be a Cardinal. There's always Kentucky too. I'm sure they'll go in the portal and get a quarterback.
Hold on. Actually, here. Okay, I knew I had Kentucky somewhere on this document. Kentucky defensive tackle Keyshawn Silver in the portal.
Also, the top receiver Dane Key in the portal.
Here's where Keyshawn Silver is crazy, though. He is expected to be the highest paid player in the portal, highest paid non-quarterback.
Jeez.
So Keyshawn Silver, we know D tackle gets into very, 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 very big prices. Keyshawn Silver leaving Kentucky will probably make over $1 million for wherever he ends up leaving.
He ain't getting paid like that at Kentucky. We know that.
All right, back to the quarterbacks. Connor Wegman in the portal.
Yep.
I'm hearing Syracuse, Mizzou, Houston is what I read. I don't know why Syracuse is on this list or the next list. They're on Caden Salters as well. I'm not sure why. I mean, Kyle McCord's got what, 1 or 2 years? 2 years left at least, right?
Yeah, unless he's going to hit the pros. It's a weak draft class.
He could. More on Kyle McCord in a bit, but Wigman in the portal.
You know what quarterback you need to get? Tyler Riddell from Chamberlain, Tampa, Florida.
Of the Riddell helmet empire.
I mean, the guy just got incredible hair from Gardner Webb. I mean, pull this guy's hair up. My goodness.
Pull this guy's hair. Hey, now.
How do you spell Riddell? Tyler Riddell. R-I-D-D.
Of all the things that I would have been expecting, this was certainly not it. Oh my God. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Quarterback. Can you trust a quarterback with that hair though?
No, he went to Chamberlain, which was my rival high school, so definitely can't trust him. I'll be honest.
Oh my God. Look at this greasy motherfucker.
That's gray hair.
Is he Jewish?
I don't know what he looks like Tarzan.
Oh man. I like that vibe.
I do. I love that vibe.
All right, Wigman, is he a fit anywhere?
Oh God, he was so bad this year.
I mean, Houston's his hometown.
Yeah, I guess Houston. I mean, if I'm Missouri, I'm not excited to get him. If I'm Syracuse, I'm not excited to get him. What did he prove this year?
He does look like weirdo.
He is a small sample size, and as of this year, majority of it's not been good now. So I don't think it should not be like Cal McCoy at least had moments last year, and he played an entire season at Ohio State. So like you knew a little something about him. I just think you have a quarterback that's had an injury history of injuries, and a quarterback this year who didn't play well.
And like Wigman, he can't really run that well, right?
A little bit, not great, but a little bit.
I forgot to say it earlier, but somebody in chat nailed it when Cole was on the show. I said, look, a true dual threat quarterback, not just a sneaky athletic gym rat. That's what I'm saying. I don't trust your opinion of who's truly dual threat. Here's a name that I thought Aaron would be way more interesting, but I have no idea what happened to him this year. And that's Caden Salter. Caden Salter from Liberty in the portal. Hold on, are you listening? So I do want your opinion on this. I can tell you.
I am done. I
don't care.
My son's school called my wife. I think Maddox has an ear infection.
I'm not judging. I get it. I just do want your opinion on this. I would have kept going if it wasn't if it was just
your opinion.
No, I want to hear your opinion. What happened to Caden Salter? Because here's a cat 2 years ago was incredible under Jamie Chadwell. It was Jamie Chadwell 2 years ago at Liberty, or was it still Hugh Freeze? This was Hugh. Yeah, it was Jamie Chadwell. Right? Like this is Hugh Freeze's second year at Auburn. Yeah.
Yes,
so he was incredible 2 years ago. This season, he threw for 1,000 less yards, 17 less touchdowns, same amount of picks. His yards per attempt went from 9.9 to 7.2. Completion percentage dropped from 61 to 56, from 12 rushing touchdowns to 7, from 1,000 rushing yards to 500. Like Salter 2 years ago looked like, maybe one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Yeah. He didn't end up hitting the portal. He ends up staying there, and everything kind of fell apart. Are you into Caden Salter as a name?
Yeah, because there's enough good tape. Yes, there's enough good tape where you're like, okay, if we can get the best of him, then yes, I would take him.
The names on him are kind of interesting: Syracuse, Indiana, Auburn, and Vanderbilt. Of course, Vanderbilt all of these schools actually, great success with transfer quarterbacks. Auburn's interesting because Hugh Freeze recruited him at Liberty and signed him. So he would know Caden Salter.
I was surprised he didn't go there a year ago. I thought they were going to take him.
Yeah. Todd says Salter lost his best wide receiver to LSU. I know, CJ Daniels, who is now in the portal. So a very good receiver.
Reunite him at Auburn.
Dylan Thieneman's in the portal, the excellent safety from Purdue. Of course, Notre Dame saw to be the team to watch there. Makes sense. Stay in Indiana. God, you got to love a good hard-hitting white safety. The guy's got incredible ball skills. So here's your portal news for today. Here is something that I don't want to go deep on, but I want to touch on. Aaron, the settlement is already a disaster. So this comes from Ross Dellinger earlier today. 4 state senators are pinning letters to their schools reminding them that they would be breaking state law if they comply with a portion of the NCAA's House settlement that limits booster pay. Settlement's booster provision is in opposition to laws in 17 states. So if you're hoping that boosters are going away, maybe don't get your.
I never thought they were going to go away. I just thought the way that the money had a funnel had to be a little different, but I guess it doesn't anymore. This seems like it's just like they just write checks. It doesn't matter, because the big thing was like we want to make sure the money's legitimate and not like going to a GoFundMe. But this seems like we don't give a shit. It's just money's money. If they want to pay, they can pay.
I mean, look, dude, you already got state senators writing letters to the school saying, "Hey, bitch, you cut off this money. Remember, you're breaking state law. Better pay these kids." And this comes from Matt Winter of Winter Sports Law. And he quote tweets Dellinger's tweet here and says, trying, and also I should say, and some people I've talked to recently, a couple weeks ago, I was told that this guy's a lawyer, and he told me that he basically thinks that people just already have the lawsuits written up, just waiting to be sent the first day. He says trying to unilaterally restrict and limit college athlete compensation is never going to work long-term or maybe even short-term. As this letter demonstrates, there will be endless litigation. Paying athletes is great, but the model needs to include real bargaining with athletes. So again, until you get to a CBA or whatever legalese is required to get there, none of this stuff will work. So it's funny. We put so much into this antitrust lawsuit hitting, and who knows, Aaron? It may not end up meaning shit. Mm-hmm. Except that the players probably, which by the way, I don't actually think the antitrust lawsuit has been passed yet.
No, I don't think so.
Hold on. He had another tweet about it. Oh, he's if the House settlement gets approved, I can't find it. I'm not going to just subject y'all to having to.
All right, big boy. I got to roll.
Where are you going?
I have to go pick up my son from school. The school just called.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
I love everyone. We'll do a live post game Georgia on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You have a great day, brother. Thank you, Jimmy. It's a very aggressive comment to suddenly see. All right, let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, I'm upset Aaron couldn't get here for this, but very happy for Kyle McCord. On a day in which Ohio State loses to Michigan for the fourth year in a row, Kyle McCord, who was blamed for all of Ohio State's problems, Kyle McCord throws for 380, 3 touchdowns, and beats a one-loss Miami top 10 team to finish 9-3. Just a hell of a victory lap. But here's maybe where it gets interesting or even more interesting is Will Howard, who I think has been really good this year, which is so weird how our brains work that I would feel differently. But Will Howard this year is almost exactly the same as Kyle McCord last year. Look at this chart. I can't remember where exactly this came from. Well, let me zoom out just a little bit here. But look at this chart here. It says Will Howard 2024 against Kyle McCord 2023. They both averaged 9.1 yards per attempt. Their touchdown percentages are 6.7 and 6.9. Interception percentage for Howard this year was 2.5. For McCord last year was 1.7. QBR 83.2, 83.7. Total EPA 56.8, 55.8. I mean, literally the exact same year. All that drama, all that spending, all that blame, and Will Howard did the exact same thing, statistically and results-wise, that Kyle McCord did. What becomes interesting to think about is, would they be in a better spot if they still had Kyle McCord? Maybe not. Maybe not. But I don't know, man. After watching him sling it this year, it seems like he may have been better suited to taking advantage of the weapons that they have at Ohio State, especially with another year on task. Then again, this is probably unfair to Will Howard because Ohio State's now lost 4 times in a row, and they've had 3 different quarterbacks. So, like, at a certain point, it's not the quarterback. Thank you, Agate. It was very fun going on with Teddy and Gabe. Went on their Oklahoma podcast. They're awesome. Eric Bieniemy fired as UCLA offensive coordinator after just 1 year. This is crazy. I thought I was a big Bieniemy guy. I thought that was a good hire. Shows what I know. I just hate to see the haters be right on Bieniemy because, everybody's like, oh, he's going to suck. He's going to suck. No, he's going to be good. Well, yeah, I don't know. And then for you Georgia fans out there, a record for the actually, let me find this tweet. Can I find this tweet? I'm trying to find the ESPN PR was taking a victory lap. Shit. I can't find it. Whatever. An average of 8.5 million people watched Georgia Tech on Black Friday. That's the best audience for Black Friday game since 2011. It's the largest audience ever for clean old fashioned hate. It peaked at 11.5 million. That's big. For reference, Auburn, Alabama, 7.4 average, 8.6 peak. Texas A&M, 9.5 average, but a 10.6 peak. So shout out to Tech in Georgia for putting on a show for the entire country to watch. Serverboy says, hey, TBob, I guess Colt was right when he said Texas back just a few years off. It was Sam Ellinger that originally said that, but yeah, he did. Do I have anything else to clean? Let's see. Have I emptied the tank here on today's show? I think we have. A lot of fun. Huge shout out to Colt McCoy for joining us. Huge shout out to Aaron Murray. Now that I have you all here for the end, though, maybe I should just talk about some shit. I'm very excited to watch Star Wars Skeleton Crew. I'm planning on watching it today with my children, maybe tonight. I know it's a kid's show, and I think that's good. There's room for that. I just hope it's a good kids show, right? Like Clone Wars, just kids cartoon, it's awesome. Rebels, kids cartoon, it's awesome. Here's to hoping that Skeleton Crew can be in that same vein. Bo Molinari wins the next Scone and Tea. Scone and Tea got canceled. Yeah, the people that were paying us to do it didn't want to pay anymore, so we're not doing it. What are you gonna do? Nuju says pumped for Christmas Nosferatu. I've seen one trailer for that and it does look awesome. I still want to see Gladiator 2, but boys, I cannot wait for War of the Rohirrim, the new Lord of the Rings anime. It looks so fucking good, dude. CHS 53, want to play WoW together? Let's run some Classic. I can't tell you, CHS, how close my heart is always to wanting to dive back into WoW Classic. It's my favorite game of all time. It's just the absolute best. And I know they just relaunched those servers. I was loving Season of Discovery for a while, but life got in the way. Like one day, one of the things I'm looking forward to, even though I definitely don't want to hurry here because it's going to be very sad, but like when I am an empty nester or something, I'm looking forward to just ignoring my wife and just grinding WoW till I die or whatever MMO I'm into at the time. But I know I've been watching WoW videos on YouTube again. And it's like about once every year or two, I get obsessed again. And God, Season of Discovery was fun though. I almost wish they would redo Season of Discovery, which, Activision Blizzard doesn't come up with anything new nowadays. They just redo their old shit that was originally good before Activision ran the company into the ground. So wouldn't be surprised if they redid Season of Discovery at some point. Streams of college football games against QB1 and 25 too. I want to. Maybe we'll get back to that in the off season for sure. CHS with these same. I have 3 girls all under 7, ready for the day. Yeah, my 3 kids are all under 7 too, dude. So I get it. I mean, that was a weird thing. Every time I had a kid, I would always get back into an MMO. I don't know why. Lord of the Rings Online for my first, WoW for the second. I mean, some of my favorite gaming memories of my entire life are grinding WoW. When Classic originally got re-released in 19, 20, 21, whenever that was. I finally got to raid, which I never did when I was younger. Raid and Molten Core. I was nearly all tier 2 from BWL. And then life got in the way. I did get the purple staff and sod from the first raid. Why am I blanking on what it was now? Yeah, MMOs are easy to walk away from. Scott Dice, that's why I'm acting like a crazy college kid. He's an empty nester now. That's it. All right, let's see. What else have I been thinking about lately? Been playing Hogwarts Legacy still a little bit here and there. It's a great game. Thoroughly enjoying it. Excellent open world game. Y'all talked about how Ohio State should jump Penn State if Penn State loses, but Bama shouldn't jump UGA. Biased, maybe? Why would Bama jump UGA? And why would Ohio State jump Penn State? I thought the whole thing about the playoff committee was essentially that if you play in a championship game and you lose, that you're not going to that if you play in a championship game and you lose, that you're not going to be punished. So I don't think either one. I don't think later text rocks. Take it easy, brother. Server Boy says, I still think you should have played for UGA. You were right up 316 from us, but I know I used to love going to Athens. That would have been my second school. That would have been my second school for sure. I did want to play that Joey McGuire. Do I still have that brought up? Yeah. Here is Joey McGuire on how we've got college football kind of fucked up right now.
And I think the narrative of college football right now is really screwed up. And I'm gonna kind of talk about that. It comes down to a patch, I guess, that's on your jersey. Because, stick with me, if Texas wins the SEC, that means a Big 12 team from last year won the SEC. If Oregon wins the Big 10, that means a Pac-12 team won the Big 10. And if Arizona State, now whoever's playing, but Arizona State's got a chance to play in the Big 12 championship. So that means a Pac-12 team won the Big 12. And then if SMU wins the ACC, that means an American team won the ACC. So I think it's absolutely embarrassing what this football committee and, we got to back up what we need to do on the field so they get pissed off at me. But it's absolutely embarrassing what they're doing to this conference. And if they look at it that way and they sit there and say, who's playing the best football, who's the most competitive conference, who week in and week out, what you see on tape and how the games that you got to play, I think the Big 12 should be in. The Big 12 champion should be in the Final Four, right? And then when teams are talking about multiple teams, depending on who plays in that game, they should have multiple teams. I think it's absolutely ridiculous what is happening at that.
Look, I'm not agreeing that I think like that the Big 12 is the best conference or anything, but Joey McGuire does make some pretty good points there. I think that if you listen to the show enough, that I try to say, whatever. Nobody ever stays consistent. If you talk enough into a microphone, I try to. I believe that we kind of overrate our ability to just know who's better and who's worse. I think a lot of his recruiting rankings. And while I do objectively think that the SEC is the best conference, the Big Ten's right behind there, I don't think the gap is as black and white as we make it out to be. And it is interesting that you would have potentially this year, like Joey said, an American team winning the ACC, a Pac-12 team winning the Big 12, a Pac-12 team winning the Big 10, and a Big 12 team winning the SEC. And I get that there's like context and you could be like, these teams had high time. I understand all of that. I just think it does speak to the fact that we can fall into trying to create very clear lines of delineation, very black and white takes on subjects that are not so black and white, right? Also in Baldur's Gate 3 binge the game is amazing. I know I got to get back to BG3 eventually finish it. I should probably just finish that game on stream. I need to get my OBS hooked up to my Twitter as well, and so I can stream on YouTube and Twitter at the same time. I won't stream on this channel because I don't want to mess up the algorithm. But like sometimes it's not fun to stream games if there's only like 2 people in there. But if I go live on Twitter, you could at least get a few more in there. But I would like to eventually off season. Maybe we'll bring some of that stuff depending on how busy it gets. Maybe life will slow down a little bit at that point. But yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is just an incredible game. Oh, dude. Oh my God, guys, look at this. Look at this, dude. Your boy last night. Look what I got to do. Which by the way, this header on my Twitter pic or my Twitter profile, this is from when they re-released episode 1 in theaters a few weeks ago. And I brought my daughters. Look at her standing up, just amazed. And by the way, this is a 4K IMAX laser projection screen with a true Dolby Atmos sound system. It's rare to find those, a true one. You'll see Dolby Atmos branding a lot, but this theater here has 108 speakers in each theater. It's incredible. And this is probably my favorite pick ever. This is from Confederacy of Dunces. Somebody put my face on it. Freaking love it. Where did I want to go here? Profile. Wait, how do I get to? I'm not going to show you all my likes, so do not ask. That is absolutely not happening. I want to show the picture that I shared earlier, but looks like Twitter's not working. I played D&D last night. I was going to show a picture of the group. The only thing is so we did a one shot. I was in a group called The Night Shift for years. And it was really good. We put it on YouTube. It was excellent. Unfortunately, the final episodes got deleted, so nobody's ever going to know what happened, even though the ending was perfect. But last night, for the first time in 2 years, we all got together and did a one shot. And look at this, dude. Look at your boy. Look at how happy. It may look like I'm smiling, like I'm about to shit myself. I don't know why that's my face, but deeply, deeply happy here. Deeply happy here. I played a level 7 wizard last night named Theodore Malton, or my friends call me Ted, and I did this whole voice, nestled safely under the tree. I was doing a Phil Hartman thing, right? I thought it was going to be a Christmas one shot. Did not end up being one. Bad call on me. But I thought for sure. I never wanted to come out and say it, but I thought for sure, the whole time I'm being a little smarmy, acting like the neighbor. Oh, Howard, I'm doing this voice the whole time. And nobody had any fucking clue what I was doing. Nobody picked up on it. Ted from Jingle All the Way, of course. And I finally just at the very, very end had to break down and be like, yeah, I was doing the Ted Malton thing. Yeah, didn't work. But this, but as you can see, what a crew here, dude. What a crew here. The adventures that I've been on with this crew. So much fun. So much fun. This guy right here, Trent Hill, hell of a DM. Jay Parker, running assistant DM last night, hell of a job. Whole crew, so much fun, dude. Yeah, rest in peace, Phil Hartman. I agree, dude. It's a lot of glass behind you. I know this house loves this guy back here, Jay Dakota. He's a famous chef around these parts, and this is his home. It's like a chef's dream. The house is, dude. When will the new night shift chefs session find its way online, Kyle? So this is just for fun. We did not film this. Unfortunately, the final episode of the night shift, which was such a satisfying ending, I hate this. It got deleted. The footage is lost. I don't even like to talk about it. Really bums me out. Look at this, dude. Look how good the Big Ten is. Or look how good the Big Ten championship game is going to be. Look at all these good players in it. Butker, Warren, Carter, Gabriel, Kobe King, George James, Drew Aller, AJ Harris, Derek Harmon, Nick Singleton. That's the good stuff, guys. I'm really looking forward to the Big Ten championship. All right. I think that's it. I love you guys. As always, like, subscribe to the channel. TBob, you ever play ARPGs? Path of Exile 2 releases tomorrow, and it's going to be a banger. I have never been a big ARPG. I've never been a big Diablo guy. I've never played the Path of Exile games. I don't really have any desire to too much. I think it's not. I'm sure there'd be something there if I tried it out, but I don't think I'm going to try it out right now, honestly. All right. I love you guys. Hit the like button, sub to the channel, tell your friends about it, all the regular stuff. If you listen on podcasts, rate, review, great way you can help us out. And we're going to have so finally, I got no work on Saturday, no LSU, anything. So we're probably going to be doing a ton of reaction shows immediately after games. And then we'll do our Sunday night recap show Monday. You know the deal. Thank you all so much. We love you. Oh, by the way, if you want to read something good, people tell me Diablo, read Play Nice, The Rise and Fall of Blizzard Entertainment. It's an excellent book by Jason Schreier, who is a very good video game journalist and author. I had read Blood, Sweat, and Pixels years and years ago, which is a fascinating look into game development, how brutal it can be. They have small teams, big teams. He follows Eric Brown, the guy that made Stardew Valley, which is one of my top 5 games of all time. I cannot wait for Haunted Chocolatier whenever it comes out finally. But that book Play Nice is a fascinating look into what has gone on at Blizzard Entertainment, what magic they had to originally create such masterpieces, the kind of pathways they went down to end up in some of the corporately controlled positions they now find themselves in, and what I believe to be probably my least favorite part of corporations, right? And I'm not blaming corporations for this, because by their very nature, their existence is solely to increase shareholder value, right? That's the entire point of everything. I think the problem comes in that they take it's too much short-term thinking, right? They chase short-term profits where they make decisions that are not best for the customer, but are best for the immediate bottom line. They chase these short-term profits, but what they don't always realize or give a damn about are the long-term ramifications, right? So you're getting short-term profits, but you're ruining these brands for the future, and you're driving people away. And I eventually think that those chickens will come home to roost, but it's on a longer time scale than you're used to thinking about. So like, I just hate that, because almost all the decisions where you chase the short-term advantages, they almost always come at the cost to the consumer. And like the most simple way, or the most simple example you can think about is like, okay, let's look at like World of Warcraft customer service. Back in the day, that used to be, there were actual human beings work. There were GMs that you could talk to, and you go, that worked for Blizzard. Then they outsource it, then they cut it down. Then there's no humans at all, right? And it's like, okay, you're paying less people, so all of a sudden the margins are larger, your profit goes up, shareholders are happy, blah, blah, blah. But then how many players are driven away because their user experience has gone consistently down because you're no longer investing in them? So sure, the number went up in the short term, but you're losing in the long term because you lose subscribers. Then because you lost subs, you go to a cash shop, and again, you start selling cosmetics, everything else, or you start going pay to win, essentially. And yes, you gain short-term profits, but then you lose some of the magic because all of a sudden you're able to pay to win. It's no longer, if you see somebody on that mount, it's not because they earned it through being a grinder or a badass or doing something impressive. It's because they opened their credit card up. Yeah. Corporate buyout strategy. Buy unique, profitable companies, strip it of everything that made it great, ruin it, bankrupt it, and then sell it for pennies on the dollar. The vice strategy. I mean, it's what's going on with Blizzard Entertainment right now, thanks to Activision. And I'm hoping that, well, actually, I'm not hoping for anything, because I don't know. I don't believe that Blizzard has the magic anymore. They're just, I mean, I heard now they're doing Overwatch Classic on Overwatch 2. Don't even get me started on Overwatch 2. What a disaster. I mean, they ran Jeff Kaplan out of town. I don't know. Whatever. All right. But read that book. If you're into Blizzard games, like I've been, and they've kind of been a big part of your life, it's an excellent read. Can't recommend enough. All right, guys. Love you. See ya next time on Stamps.